This is Dr. Dominique Sepowitz, and she's going to answer the question on how trauma affects development and developmental delays.
So what we understand is that when a very significant trauma originates, so for example, a very significant use of substances, for example, being sexually abused in a way that's called a type 2, not a type 1. A type 1 trauma is a one-time, one event. Type 2 is multiple, protracted over time. So type 1 we know less about. We don't know what happens if something happens to you once you're in a car accident, something overwhelms you. We don't know a lot about development related to that. What we do know about related to type 2 is that if you've had something happen over your lifetime, it shows developmental delay. Developmental delay not physically, but by your ability to age appropriately respond to stimuli. So your emotional reaction may be delayed. Your ability to cope, your ability to demonstrate anger, age appropriately. So the things that we see the delay on trauma are things like temper tantrums or acting out in a way that seems a little bit delayed. It's a little hard to do a developmental assessment, but what we can often do in therapeutic work is we say to people, kind of how old do you feel? How old do you feel inside? How old do you feel when you're upset or sad? What does it feel like? How do you feel? Do you feel more impulsive than maybe the people around you? Do you seem like does it feel like your reactions are different than the people in your own age?
So it's kind of more of a self-assessment.
Yeah, we don't have I've never seen a clinical assessment that allowed us to check, yes, developmentally delayed, but we consistently hear over time that people feel like they're different than their same age peers, and it oftentimes originates around the time of a type 2 trauma.
And do you feel like the effects are more pronounced for people that experience a trauma earlier in development, or not necessarily?
Well, I think yes, but that's just a difference between a 16 and a 19-year-old are less pronounced than you would see between a 4 and an 8-year-old, right? So I think some of it is where the developmental delay begins. So if we see people with type 2 trauma who began to be molested when they were 4, we're going to see it because they're going to be in school, they're going to be exposed to more same-age peers, and their reactions are going to look significantly different, where a 16 and a 19-year-old we maybe would have more leeway on how we see them behave. So the clients that I work with now may have been abused in their teenage lives, and they're 40 and they're acting and responding to challenges and emotional problems or things that are happening, rejection in their life, and they react very similarly to the way that they did when they first began to be sex trafficked. So we just don't see the development during the time of trauma either. So it can affect it and slow it down, but also while they're in it. So if you're in a domestic violent relationship, in a teen dating violent relationship, we don't expect that you're doing a lot of development emotionally because you're dealing with the crisis of that relationship.
All right. Well, thank you.
On the way there.